Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Ford Maverick XLT with this optional FX4 off-road package here. And we're going to take this thing on a POV drive today. If you did just watch my full tour and review, you'll notice that we are now in a sunny environment as it has finally stopped raining after the past week. Got lucky today, so I want to go and make sure to redo this POV drive video for you guys because I think it would be a little bit better in a nicer environment. Let's go take a quick tour on the exterior before we go take this thing on a drive. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out my full tour and review for that full video on an in-depth information about this vehicle. We'll notice that we do have auto down windows, but they are not auto up. That's one thing I did figure out on this Maverick, and I think all the Mavericks are like that. Outside here, we have this pretty nice shade of this blue paint here. I think it looks quite nice. And we do have the FX4 off-road package, which I think does enhance the looks a little bit, but it is also giving you a little bit more off-road prowess, though nowhere near as much as you're going to get on the Tremor Maverick. The one thing with the Tremor Maverick, as I mentioned in my full tour and review video, is that that one will not allow you to tow 4,000 pounds like this particular one does with the 4K towing package. Pretty cute looking little small truck. As we all know, it is based on a car platform shared with the Ford Escape, the Ford Bronco Sport, though it is surprisingly quite capable. And I have to say, this powertrain is like super strong. We have this 4.5-foot bed back here. Quick look at that. Let's go take this thing on a drive though, because it honestly is quite fun on the roads. Some rear seats here, not the biggest rear seats though. A nice amount of space back here. We do have this quirky little under seat storage here if you want some more additional storage, which is quite nice actually. But let's go take this thing on a drive. Okay guys, we are inside the Maverick, and putting it into drive is pretty easy. As we saw, we have this rotating gear selector down here for park, reverse, neutral, and drive. We also have a low button for our 8-speed automatic gearbox. We have an electronic parking brake. We also have a few different drive modes, as well as a quick access to our traction control, hill descent control, brake hold, and auto stop start if you want to turn that off. Drive modes are start in normal, then they go to tow haul. We have slippery. We also have a mud ruts, sand, and a normal drive mode, which is pretty nice. If you go for the Tremor Maverick, you'll actually get additional drive modes where I think you're able to kind of lock like this multi-clutch rear differential for your all-wheel drive system, which is really nice. We also have a parking or reversing camera, which is it works, so it's a little bit low resolution. We do have a trajectory, and we can also zoom in if we have a trailer in here. We want to zoom in to come see what's going on there, which is cool. Other than that, that's about it in terms of our driving features. Steering wheel here, which is nice, heated. We have lane keeping assist with this one, though. If you do opt for the top spec Lariat Maverick, you will get a little bit more features there. But let's head off. Now, this Maverick does have a 2-liter turbocharged EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine. That is one of the options you can get with the Maverick. Of course, there is the Hybrid Maverick, which is front-wheel drive only, a lot less power, though really impressive fuel economy. Though I have to say, this EcoBoost 4-cylinder provides some really significant power numbers for what it is, and I have to say, it is still pretty good on gas. I got around 32 almost miles per gallon on the highway the other day, which was honestly very impressive. Even traveling at highway speeds around 65 to 70 miles an hour, which I was actually quite impressed with. And that's actually better than the EPA rated figures of around 20, I think 8 miles per gallon on the highway. So how is this Maverick to drive? Well, I want to really talk in comparison with this Maverick versus the Tremor one, as I did have the Tremor one just last summer to drive around on these same roads actually. And there is honestly a quite big difference in how they are driving on the roads. This XLT Maverick, or any Maverick that's not the Tremor package, is really going to feel a lot different than that particular Tremor package, specifically just how it's set up. The Tremor package is giving you a higher suspension, a unique kind of off-road focused suspension, so it's going to be a little bit softer over these bumps, especially on roads. And that extra inch of ground clearance, again, that revised suspension settings and everything, really does change how the Maverick feels on the roads. It drives a little bit more SUV or truck-like versus the Maverick without the Tremor package. And even with this FX4 off-road package, it feels a little bit more car-like. It's an inch lower to the ground. The suspension, yes, is off-road focused, but nowhere near as much as the Tremor package is. And I don't think this is a bad thing. I actually like how this particular Maverick drives. It is very, very car-like. I feel like I'm in a Escape or something like that, versus in the Tremor, I felt like it was a little bit more of a baby truck. A quick little acceleration here for you guys. Whew. 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. This Maverick really does get up to speed very quickly, and honestly I'm very impressed with just how peppy this powertrain is. It's honestly quite fantastic, and with this FX4 package and the 4K tow package, you are getting some upgraded internals under the hood to kind of compensate for it allowed to be towing up to 4,000 pounds, which is pretty impressive. The Maverick weighs just around 4,000 pounds, or I believe just under 4,000 pounds too. So that's a pretty good feat for it. Really enhances its capability. And another thing to note is that this Maverick with XLT with FX4 also can actually haul more payload than the Tremor Maverick. So that Tremor Maverick is really going to be useful for you if you are going to be needing that advanced all-wheel drive system, the better approach, departure, and breakover angles, as well as just a little bit cool Tremor looks and that a little bit extra amount of ground clearance. This XLT package, with or without the FX4 off-road package, is going to be more of your day-to-day living around town Maverick that you're gonna be able to haul things around in. It's gonna be a little bit more comfortable, car-like to drive on the road, like I said, versus the Tremor. And you're honestly actually going to get a little bit more fuel economy if that is something that you care about with the EcoBoost engine versus the Tremor, just because it's a little bit lower to the ground, helping aerodynamics just a tad bit. Out here on the roads, steering is pretty light actually, though honestly it's more direct than I was expecting. Nothing sporty, obviously. This is a little pickup truck, but it does handle itself quite well. There really isn't too much body roll in the corners, which you kind of would expect out of a pickup truck, though that's something you're going to kind of see a little bit more in the Tremor one, as it's a little bit higher off the ground and the suspension's a little bit more capable of leaning in and out of itself, which is going to help in some off-road settings, but on the road it feels a little more truck-like. This one, I will say, the suspension, you can feel some of the bumps a little bit more on the road. It's a little bit unsettled in some positions, just because I think it's not as, the springs aren't as soft as you're gonna find in the Tremor, but it's really nothing too bad. It's honestly, the ride for this entry kind of price point of vehicle, this one starts around $26,000 before you start adding in all the options. This one, I believe, is optioned around $34,000. It's pretty good. It honestly rides better than some other entry-level vehicles, not necessarily a direct competitor, but things like a Chevy Trax or Invista, those similar price point vehicles. This feels a lot more solid actually, and rides a little bit better than those that I've noticed. I think Ford has used a little bit more aluminum components on the chassis of this. It's a general steel chassis, unibody chassis, but I think Ford has made a little bit more heavy use of aluminum components, especially specifically in the suspension area, and I think that's helping to kind of improve the rigidity and just general structural strength of this vehicle versus some other like entry-level priced vehicles in the market right now. Brakes are pretty good on the Maverick as well, really no complaints there. I really have had no complaints driving this thing over the week, other than this mirror, sometimes the glare is just a little bit too much, even when you kind of put it in the dimming mode. I'm not sure if it's just a cheaper kind of rear view mirror, but that's just one complaint I guess I've had. Another minor complaint that's a personal one is I wish it had the summer package, but you don't need to have that if you don't need it. Other than that, there really haven't been any issues. It would be nice to kind of see how that Copilot 360 option will work in the Lariat. I wish they kind of made that a little bit more widespread throughout the lineup. Like, you only have basic cruising in here, not even any sort of following distance. You do have the lane keep assist, which you can pop on and off on your turn signal indicator stock here. Doesn't really work too particularly well, I'm going to be completely honest. Sometimes it'll bump you into the other little lanes. You could get like an audible warning. It does have pre-collision braking, which is nice, and a warning assist, so that's one little safety feature there. And this infotainment system has been a little bit confusing sometimes, because I've had actually some issues with Apple CarPlay, because as you can see, it is wired only, though it has had some issues connecting sometimes, even with the wire. I'll plug in my phone and it just doesn't show up. I have to turn the vehicle on and off to do that, which is a little bit frustrating, and I feel like that's something you should only be having issues with on wireless CarPlay. But I think we may be seeing an update with the Maverick pretty soon that's going to fix a lot of these small issues. But generally, I like the interior in here. You have a lot of visibility all around you. That sound right there is just one other complaint. The Maverick just does not sound good, and that is obviously not one of its things that people are going to be judging it by. It's meant to be a daily usable work slash hauling slash utility little vehicle, so I guess sound wasn't Ford's top priority here. But the engine sounds like it's broken. It's not. It's a brand new Maverick. This has like 1,000 miles on it. It literally just crossed over 1,000 miles. I had around 800 miles when I got it earlier this week. But yeah, this is the sounding is a little bit annoying, but auto stop start works fantastically. As you can see, it's off right now. This is one of my favorite brake hold systems. It stays on all the time, regardless if you turn it on and off the vehicle. Very seamless and quick and easy to use. You don't have to like depress the brake pedal too hard. And again, you can turn it off if you don't want that feature. Traction control is very easy to turn off if you need to do so as well. Like I said before, we have hill descent control if you do need that feature as well. There are a few little screens you can play around with in here. Our intelligent all-wheel drive screen. You'll see it kind of uses the front wheels a lot more versus the rear wheels generally most of the time, though it is always active in an all-wheel drive setting. So if it detects slip on any of the wheels, it will kind of send power to where it needs to. Obviously, this is a front-wheel drive transverse based platform. We've been doing 21.2 MPG over 61 miles. That's very mixed driving all over the place, but I have been seeing pure highway driving, or at least most highway driving, for around 20-ish miles. I got around like 28 to 32 miles per gallon, which is really impressive. We've been averaging around 25.2 MPG, which is also quite nice, as you can see right there. It is cool to note though, off of launch, you can see all four wheels are turning, and once you start going up for speed, the rear axle slowly turns off, especially when you kind of just start cruising. That's really for fuel efficiency, which is really nice. So it's a good intelligent all-wheel drive system. One thing I will note is completely different vehicle, but just in terms of all-wheel drive system mindset, I just got out of a Cadillac which had a multi-clutch all-wheel drive system that you had to manually switch into all-wheel drive if you needed it. And I think some people don't realize you have to do that, so it defaults to front-wheel drive all the time. Thankfully, Ford does not do that, and they just have a normal intelligent all-wheel drive system like they should in all manufacturers these days. But one thing to know, and you have a pretty nice amount of features in here: heated seats, heated steering wheel, no dual zone climate, but you don't really need that. I think it's completely fine with heated mirrors as well. And I think these are dimming. I don't believe the mirrors are auto dimming whatsoever, but at least they are heated, no power fold or anything like that. And generally, it's a pretty fine vehicle to drive around. You have a lot of headroom, a lot of space in this interior, a lot of storage solutions all over the place. Kind of put your coffee mugs, you can lock them in this side panel here if you need to. Everything's very accessible and in reach with you as well. Let's just take it out onto the highway here to see how it performs, getting up to speed. I have to say, this is where the thing the Maverick just does really well. It gets up to speed so quickly and so seamlessly. You never have to worry about that whatsoever. And for how this thing is and what it is supposed to be, it just handles like generally good for what it is. And this makes everyone, I think, a little bit more excited for a rumored upcoming Maverick street style truck with a little bit of some kind of sporty bits and style, lowered suspension. I think that's going to be really cool if Ford really does follow through with that. I think the market will like that a little bit because it's a fun little quirky vehicle, and I think it fits kind of the idea of it. Out here on the highway, we hear a little bit of wind noise in this upper portion area. Shockingly, there's no really wind noise anywhere in this A-pillar area. That's typically where we find a lot of wind noise out on vehicles on the highway, especially kind of boxier truck-like vehicles. But you can see we're just next to a Wrangler right there at how low to the ground we are in this particular Maverick. And that's kind of like that one big difference I was noting for you guys versus the Tremor one. The Tremor one, you're gonna feel higher off the ground. You're gonna feel a little bit more in that truck-like situation here. Now, like I also mentioned before, we can see our cruise control does work, although it is just a general basic cruise control. Set your speed and you have to pay attention to everything else on the road. Again, we do have that lane keep assist function on, but it's really just going to kind of alert you that you're exiting the lanes. Sometimes it will give you a little bit of a nudge, but I've noticed on some of these more solid lines, it doesn't really work as well as our just dotted white lines on a highway situation here. I always have to remember that we have a regular cruise control system on the Maverick. I'm so used to driving all these vehicles now with these advanced driver assistance systems that going back into a vehicle with none of them, you really have to remember that yes, you are always in control when you are driving. Nonetheless, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick drive of the 2024 Maverick XLT with the FX4 off-road package. Definitely go check one of these out if you are able to get your hands on one of them. And you know, if you're comparing it to something like the Maverick Tremor, I would definitely drive the two back to back and see how they fit your daily needs. General day-to-day driving, if you live in a suburban area where you don't really have any sort of like off-road driveways or off-road situations you have to use all the time, I think that's probably going to be your best bet for going for this one. If you need that additional kind of off-road capability, you're going to want to go with the more aggressive Maverick Tremor, or something if you need a little more space or touring capacity, you're going to want to go with maybe a competitor, which there aren't many. A Hyundai Santa Cruz is really your only other option. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video on the 2024 Maverick XLT with the FX4 off-road package, and as always, stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. Cheers.